Well, good morning and welcome back to the channel. As you can tell, I'm sitting here in the adventure wagon. We've been out having some adventures. This video will be short, but kind of wanted to share some information. You know, the time I took out this particular camera, the OM-1 Mark II, trying some of the features of it here recently. You know, I didn't shoot any video, sorry. I just didn't do that. I just went and took some images, but I wanted to share my experience with it, you know, and share a couple of images from it. So, you know, what am I talking about? Well, a week or so ago, my wife and I took off to the mountains of North Carolina. You know, wanted to just have a weekend away, get away from work, get away from the stress of life, and, you know, kind of just unwind, drink some beer, and have a good time. You know, so we did that. All right, so while we were down there, went and visited a small little park, a place near Saluda, North Carolina, called Pearson Falls. All right, and that's a place I've been to in the past. All right, and taken images of, especially in the fall, because it's really a pretty place. Now, if you ever think about going to this place, again, it's called Pearson Falls near Saluda, North Carolina. Keep in mind, it costs $5 per person to get in. It's not a big place. Is it worth the $5? Yes, it's worth it. Okay, it's really a beautiful waterfall. All right, so in the past when I've been there, tried to go, obviously the right time of day, optimal time of day, fall colors, those kind of things, you know, take images. What I'm going to do here is put in my most recent trip prior to this one last week. All right, so you can get an idea of images I took. I think these images are with the Canon R5, so throw those in right here. Now, from those pictures, you can see it's a pretty nice place. All right, so now let's talk about this trip. What I wanted to do is I wanted to go and I wanted to test out some of the image stabilization everybody talks about and test out some of the new features. All right, so I went with entire intention of hand holding. All right, no tripod, no anything, no video camera, nothing. Just going to go and hand hold, take some shots, see how it turns out. All right, unfortunately, because we went on a tour of Sierra Nevada and we went and did some antique shopping and things like that, we didn't get to Pearson Falls till late in the afternoon. It was incredibly crowded, and of course it was the worst time of day because the sun was right behind the waterfall, you know, coming right down over everything, right onto where, you know, I was trying to shoot. So the lighting conditions were absolutely horrible. All right, plus it's in the spring and there's really not a lot of green or anything at this point. So absolutely the worst possible conditions you could ever run into, all right, to take images of a waterfall. So handheld, worst possible conditions. That's what I attempted to do, all right, with the OM-1 Mark II, along with, you know, the 12 to 45 here, my 8 to 18, along with the circular polarizer. See what I could do. All right, so now, how did I handle that? I shot everything from ISO 80, which is the lowest setting on this, all the way up to 200. All right, I shot 4.5, 5 seconds. Down to as low as I think 1/4 or 1/3 of a second. All right, so I got those images across all those different setups using both different lenses. I did use the built-in neutral density filter, all right, to see how they would work. All right, I tried with, without. All right, I did everything I could think of just to try to capture images, you know, and again, can't stress enough, the worst possible conditions. In a normal day, I would have never tried to even capture an image there. And again, you know, I shot different shutter speeds, just trying to see what I could do, all handheld. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put those images in here so you can see them. So now what you're looking at is a few different images, different shutter speeds, all right, you know, and a couple different lenses, a couple different ways I had things set up. As bad as the conditions were, I think those images turned out pretty darn good. Now, were they as great as the images I put at the beginning that I took, in the fall in the proper light? No, they're not that good. But are they all right? Yeah, they are. I mean, this thing working in absolutely just abysmal conditions, turned out really good. I'm really surprised. Whether I went with, a very long exposure or I went, all right, to a short exposure, depending on the ISO, didn't really matter. I think the images turned out, for the conditions, incredibly good. All right, so again, when I talk about these things, well, this camera is pretty darn good. It offers a lot of different features, gives you a lot of different opportunities to do things that a lot of cameras don't, and it performs pretty darn good. When you hear people bash Micro Four Thirds and everything has to be full frame, again, I'm not going to kid anybody. Full frame sensors let in more light. They reduce the noise as long as you haven't got way too many pixels in it. All right, it can outperform Micro Four Thirds, but as an all-around, just get out there, do everything, light combo that can really function well in pretty much any conditions, Micro Four Thirds does pretty good. And again, I hope when you looking at those images, you would say the same. All right, so now, I want to also bring up, coming up here in a couple weeks, I am headed back off to Europe. I'm going to go spend a week in Belgium and the Netherlands. Plan is, while I'm out there, all right, I think I mentioned this in a previous video, to use this. This is the OM-5 with the Olympus 12mm f2. And the idea is one fixed lens, one camera, just go out, see what you can capture. All right. That's kind of my goal. That's what I'm after. This is what I'm going to take. No extra lenses, no nothing. I haven't decided if I'm going to do a video of it while I'm there or just summarize everything when I get back. I haven't decided, how I'll do that. But when you come right down to it, I wanted to try something tiny, all right, that's easy to handhold, all right, and kind of compares against, the new X100 6 or the Nikon Q2, or excuse me, not Nikon, Leica Q2 or Q3. All right, just what is a small version, OM system, Micro Four Thirds setup, what's it like, how can it do, and how can you do with it? So we're going to find out. All right, when I get back, I'll share some images, whether I put it, like I said, whether I video, I'm sure I'll video a few things on there. I don't know if how much I'll do, but, because I'm supposed to be on vacation. I want to be able to relax, kind of enjoy myself. Plus I want to drink some Belgian ale. Don't let anybody kid you. I want to try some Belgian ale. Never know what I'll say if I have way too much Belgian ale to drink, but I'll share what I get when I get back. All right, so thanks for coming along, everybody. Appreciate every one of you. We're well over 300 subscribers now and continuing to try to grow. Please like, comment, and share. If you find this of any value, or any of the content that I create of any value, share those with anybody and everybody. The more people we can bring to the channel, the more opportunity we have for people to see some of the things that an amateur photographer deals with or does, when he has a chance to get out, and take images. So thanks for coming along. Appreciate every one of you. Until we see you again, stay safe.